Thank you very much, guys. I'm here with DOUBLELIFT, the man himself. And now, the first thing I got to do for this interview, I've got to ask you the question on my mind, on everybody else's mind. What is it like being back in the North American LCS?
Feels like I'm coming home, you know, it's very comfortable, very like what I'm used to. And honestly, I thought I would be able to transition like pretty smooth, but actually it's not so easy. And I mean, I've been away for 5 months, you know, and I was kind of nervous for this match because it's like my debut performance after a long time. So, I mean, it's been a long time since I've been nervous for an LCS match, I'm not gonna lie. Like, even in the finals, wasn't very nervous. Finals of last split, so yeah, like, it just, it's like very refreshing, I guess, and I really like it. It's really fun.
Hey, the nerves just show that you're invested in what you're doing, right? And you talk about coming back into it. What's it like coming back now, playing with a lot of the players that you've played against in the past? We know that you guys don't exactly have a lot of time to practice together before this match, but what's the team atmosphere been like so far?
Well, I only got to play with TL for 1 day, so my experience has been pretty limited, but the atmosphere is really good. Like, and I'm not just saying that, it actually is like very nice, and everyone's really like courteous and just like agreeable. I think part of it is when you're doing poorly as a team, nobody wants to be like a jerk and ruin the team environment. And you know, there has been like a stigma with like TL's breaking point and stuff, and like all that talk about like toxicity that I feel like that's really changed the team to be really just nice, good environment, and really positive.
Positive environments yield positive results more often than not. And speaking of positive results, you guys have one more match to play this weekend. It's going to be against Envy on Sunday. How do you guys feel, how do you particularly feel about still being able to take this team to playoffs?
Well, I got to play with TL for 1 day before C9, and that's the first place team, so I'm a lot more confident against Envy. Obviously, I played really bad the second game on Draven. I think I was just really nervous, that's all. And but overall, I think my performance and like my play is really good, and everyone on the team is like very good individually. So I think I just need to step up my shot calling a little bit, and Envy should be pretty interesting match, good match. I don't want to say free, but it should be easy for us.
All right, one last question, and this one is probably going to be the most important of all. Now, I've heard some rumors going around that the real reason that you are back in the North American LCS is to avoid running into Cutie Pie and solo queue. Can you provide me with whether or not there's any truth to that?
Dude, I was ranked higher than Cutie Pie for like 5 months, and the one time that he's higher ranked than me, he like has to rub it in my face. But no, Cutie Pie is boosted garbage. So.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, the truth has come out. You heard it from the lips of the man himself. Now we're going to go ahead and throw it back to the guys on the analyst desk. Take it away.
It is good to have you back in the North American LCS, DOUBLELIFT.
Benefits of coming back to the LCS, you get to trash talk the opponent when you're live on broadcast with plenty of viewers.
Yeah, big stage to be throwing trash talk around. But although the victory did not fall in favor of Team Liquid today, 2-0 for Cloud9, kind of to be expected. As we mentioned at the top of the day, number 1 against number 10, we already knew that this was going to be quite the uphill battle for a reformed Team Liquid roster with 1 day of practice. DOUBLELIFT, though, talking about how it's nice to be home, you know, at the LCS. And
warms my heart.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe playing with too much comfort on the stage, actually, pulling out the Draven here in Game 2 of his LCS return.
He said he was going to bring North American solo queue to the LCS, and he did just that.
Man of his word.
Yeah, picking Draven right into double poke. I always like, you know, poke champions versus Draven because there's this big shining circle on the ground where like it's probably going to walk over there to catch his axe.
Yep.
And Smoothie and Sneaky did a really good job of punishing him, you know, landing a lot of poke early. There was no snowball early on, and they were actually losing some pressure on that bottom side of the map.
And that's the big thing here, right? In contrast to Game 1, where Team Liquid was able to get out to early advantages across all 3 lanes. In fact, just the opposite happened this time around. 3 kills going over to C9 early.
And I like this replay because I really wanted to revisit REIGNOVER. And it starts out with him going for a very risky gank onto the bottom lane, where, again, they are getting pressured heavily. Plus, you know, there's JENSEN has control of mid lane, and the teleports are ready, so Cloud9 just jump on this opportunity.
Right, that's the thing. You're making an aggressive play there into a double teleport team. Therefore, Piglet gets beat over to the side lane by quite a bit. Now it's a 4v5. You're already at a numbers disadvantage.
And then this is, you know, another form of macro, another form of shot calling that we can, you know, attack 14 Liquid, as they, you know, said they've got a lot of stuff in that area to work on.
Yep.
The re-engagement there, definitely the timing was off, plus 4v5 to begin with, and not like a huge amount of cooldowns were burned in killing Doublelift in the first place.
Yep.
So definitely multiple layers in that one.
A nice ultimate by JENSEN there, who was, you know, playing the team fights well, excelling in the team fights, struggling a little bit in lane. And I don't know, you know, I don't know whether or not half of it looked like overconfidence. You know, I'm playing against a non-mid laner in the mid lane, and I look at myself as top, you know, the top or top 2 mid laner, and maybe getting a little bit bullish with it. He got a couple 1v1s turned around on.
So yeah, because, you know, JENSEN is definitely one of those mid laners where we associate a certain attitude with him.
Yeah.
It definitely adds to that, oh, you know, it's him like a little bit disrespecting and going kind of low health versus Piglet. He gets solo killed like, I don't know, maybe 3+ times in this series by Piglet.
Right.
And a lot of them look like very disrespectful moves. You know, whether it's whether he would have done that versus someone who was a you know, mid lane main or something,
Yep.
Is kind of irrelevant, because JENSEN was making a lot of very, you know, hubris-heavy choices.
Right, and now where in game 1, Team Liquid had a slight lead that they then forfeited to C9 with a single fight that led into Baron. This time around, C9 with the lead kind of from the beginning had a lot more comfortability playing around the map, which brings us to that 26-minute mark where they get a 4-for-0 plus the Baron.
Yeah, this replay, not only are they going to be able to get it, but as they went over, some chase down kills here. JENSEN, again, has been one of the highlights right over there. I mean, the way that he's played team fights on Echo, you know, AP Echo, not just the tank Echo, where it's a lot easier to run right into the center, all season long has really been extraordinary, and gotten him, you know, quite a few nods already, but deserving of yet another one.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was going to say, he's going to get
Despite
another
the getting solo killed when you go back to the mid lane after making a big play, then he's like, oh, okay, back to mid lane with Piglet.
Right, he had that sick old bot lane and then walks mid and plays super aggressively, having just blown his flash, and against an Ahri that has both flash and ignite. But even so, JENSEN picking up player of the game for those team fights, really putting in the damage and being the assassin that they needed to take out that Draven. Because at a certain point, Doublelift was getting to, you know, a scary place.
He cashed in.
Yeah, exactly. You get a couple kills, and all of a sudden, Draven is something to be feared. But
I mean, he was an item down below Steaky so I don't know if the fear was quite there, but anytime you hear the noise and the cash in, you're like, okay, we'll pay attention now.
All right, so Cloud9, they pick up an expected win here. I want to talk about Team Liquid moving forward, because once again, we have to remember that at the beginning of the day, we did not expect them to come away with even a game, yet let alone the series. But now let's look forward to Sunday, playing against Envy. This is a very winnable series for Team Liquid. Do you think...
Easy, as Doublelift said.
yeah, or as Doublelift puts it, it's going to be the easiest game of his life. No, I misquoted there.